To celebrate the return of football, TiVo is offering 30-day free trials to The Athletic, the home of the world's best football writing. Alfredo Morelos grew up in the Botovan neighborhood of Cerote in the north of Colombia. It's a rural working-class area with a population of around 60,000 people, dependent on the cattle and cotton industries, but blighted by poverty, gang violence, and crime. His father, Alfredo Morelos Sayan, sold fruit from a wheelbarrow. His mother, Doña Marta Aviles, was a housewife who looked after her 4 children. Their family was tragically reduced to 3 when Morelos' younger sister, Dali Luz, died at the age of 6. And it's that heartache which saw Morelos promise his mother he would provide for and take care of his family. And he has done that for his family and many others. On a sweltering hot day in Cerote, in February 2012, there was a special visitor in town. Morelos, then 15 years old, was playing for Los Fumigadores, a club he joined as a child. And he must have been wondering whether time was running out for him to make it. But luckily enough, his coaches, Adolfo Montes and Vicente Fernandez, had arranged an audition of sorts. Don Luis Fernando Jimenez, then sporting director of Independiente Medellin, was in attendance. The first thing I noticed, remembers Jimenez, was that every time he touched the ball, he tried to score. He was strong, fast, and powerful. The locals called him El Búfalo. I immediately said I wanted him, and within a week, he was in Medellin. We agreed a deal with the academy, and he started with our under-16s. And within 18 months, he debuted for the senior team. Morelos was the top scorer in his youth team and quickly made his presence known in the first team, scoring in only his second game. He managed 6 goals in 14 league appearances and scored 5 in 4 starts in the Copa Colombia, which led to a call-up to the under-20 national team. His second senior season, Independiente, was frustrating. He made no league starts and just 6 substitute appearances. He had his heart set on a move to Europe, but his potential was hidden by a lack of video footage. Jonna Lindblom, his former agent, recalls how much he had to dig into his contact book to make it happen. I spoke to probably every club in Scandinavia, but they weren't willing to take the risk due to that lack of footage. That was when Lindblom's close relationship with Aki Riihilahti, the former Crystal Palace midfielder and now Helsinki CEO, proved invaluable. We were looking for an established number 9 who would score us the 20 goals we needed to win the title, says Riihilahti. Morelos was at Medellin, but there was only small bits of footage from 6 to 8 months ago. But we worked with Jonna to make the deal as we trusted him. We did a loan so that we could postpone the contract after 3 months rather than sign him permanently. And when Morelos arrived in Helsinki in February 2016, it was minus 20 degrees. Riihilahti spoke limited Spanish and his new centre-forward didn't speak a word of English, but his first words, spoken through a translator, described exactly why he was there. When can I play? Soon was the answer, and his impact would be immediate. With Helsinki trailing to their derby rivals HIFK Football 3-2 in a cup match, on came Morelos, even though nobody at his new club had seen him play. He scored in the last minute, making it 3-3 and celebrated by flinging himself headlong into his new supporters. And after that, he just didn't stop scoring. He was phenomenal. We couldn't believe our luck, Riihilahti remembers. We didn't cancel the contract. Instead of concentrating on his adaptation, Morelos channeled his energies into setting up a foundation. As soon as he received his first paycheck of around €3,000, he began funding projects in Cerote and sending back containers of gifts. Morelos would run the charity remotely for several years until he moved to Scotland and appointed Franklin Gonzalez to manage its day-to-day operations. We talk every day, Gonzalez says. He likes to be involved in which music teacher is hired or deciding how a new building is going to look. Today, the scale of the operation is very different. We are constructing a 20,000 square metre complex, says Gonzalez. It's going to have football pitches, a gym, classrooms, art rooms, psychology, technology area, green spaces, and a park to service hundreds of kids. The foundation is set up to help the most vulnerable in society, especially kids. The goal is to have a transformation on this next generation. Each new contract Morelos signed sees the signing-on fee diverted straight to his charity, which, in addition to Gonzalez, now has around 5 or 6 full-time employees supported by volunteers. Helsinki would only get a season and a half out of Morelos, and a profit of around £500,000. He would score 26 goals in 37 appearances in his first season, then 20 from 25 the next. Meanwhile, over in Scotland, Pedro Caixinha had taken charge of Glasgow Rangers and was facing his first transfer window since being appointed. The addition of former midfielder Jonathan Johansson to his coaching staff would strengthen Caixinha's hand, but also provide some valuable intelligence. Prior to moving to Ibrox, Johansson had been an assistant coach with the Finnish national team. I was watching a lot of the games there, mainly in Helsinki, he told The Athletic. I was obviously there with the intention of watching the Finnish players, but Alfredo stood out. He was so quick over short spaces, he had a real appetite for scoring goals and had that selfishness you need. He wasn't afraid of missing chances. A deal was sanctioned at a cost of around £1 million. It was Johansson's first involvement in a transfer. And 3 years on, Morelos is a different player, and Rangers are a different team. While his style is still very much recognisable, his all-round game has improved considerably. 18 goals in all competitions in his first season became 30 in his second, a tally he would have exceeded in his third had the Scottish season not been halted, with him already on 29. But while the rise in his game has been paused, his foundation's influence back in Colombia has remained constant. Morelos has held multiple charity matches where locals are kitted out in Rangers strips, with the 700 in attendance simply requested to donate food as an admission fee. It's been beautiful to see how the community has become fans of Rangers, says Franklin Gonzalez. Everywhere you go, someone is wearing a Morelos shirt. During the pandemic, the foundation delivered food parcels, but they also recognised the challenges lockdown creates, providing psychological help to people online and also a telephone support network. This is who Alfredo Morelos is. The first thing he told me when I met him, Gonzalez continues, was that he didn't want other kids to have to suffer the level of poverty and lack of resources that he had to endure. He wants to make a permanent change so that kids can pursue their dreams of becoming a lawyer or a teacher or anything they want to be. With football finally back, Tifo is delighted to be able to offer 30-day free trials to The Athletic. We have journalists dedicated to every Premier League club, bringing you the definitive stories on your team, not just the big teams. And that's not to mention hundreds of journalists dedicated to 10 other sports. So check it out for free by visiting theathletic.com/Tifo Football. And thanks for watching today's video.